Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, particularly the gentlemen of the media, I have titled this, "We have been joking. Now is the time to plan." Gentlemen of the media, I cannot commence this press conference without expressing my deep appreciation to the media for the cooperation and collaboration that the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners has enjoyed over time, especially in the last 10 months. We appreciate this and request for further assistance. Our society is truly underinformed in matters relating to town planning or urban and regional planning. The Nigerian nation has not given physical planning the attention it deserves, and this continues to limit the development potentials of the nation. Many times, the emphasis has been on economic planning, neglecting its physical reality, that is, physical planning. There is a nexus between economic planning and physical planning, but this clearly is not understood by those at the helm of affairs. The earlier this is given priority, the better, so that we can salvage our environment. When this administration took over in October 2020, we thought to do leadership differently. One of the decisions taken was to make leadership get closer to the members, making it more impactful. The other reason was to ensure the visibility of the urban planning profession. Both goals were met in one, as the national president and some members of the executive have been on a nationwide tour to visit state chapters of the NITP, assess the state of physical planning in the states, as well as mount advocacy campaigns for the profession. The national president has visited 14 states so far, and the tour has revealed different realities from one state to another. You will all recall that the National Urban and Regional Planning Law was promulgated as a decree in 1992 and became part of the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the year 2004. The law prescribes the various hierarchies of plans meant to be prepared at federal, state, and local levels with the relevant institutions to ensure the success of the implementation of the law. It was required also that every state of the federation would domesticate the law to enhance physical planning and human settlements development in the states and local areas. The experience is that the framework at the federal level is yet to be implemented, while the preparation of the National Physical Development Plan is still a dream. The states, too, have different outcomes, which can be classified into a number of categories. It is important to state that none is perfect yet, but they are definitely not at the same levels of compliance. The categories are as follows. 1. States that have domesticated the law and are working to try to keep to the law. 2. States that have domesticated the law but are not implementing it as required or operating the law in breach. 3. States where the law is awaiting the assent of the governor. 4. States where the law is at the House of Assembly still being discussed. And 5. States where the law is still being worked in the system. The imperative to plan is on us like a thief in the night. The land resources are fixed and cannot be increased, while the population is increasing. The scarcity of this resource and the desperate need to have it, because it is a factor of production, have triggered many intercommunal clashes between communities that have lived together for several centuries without any clash. The incidence of the farmers-herders clash, which has not abated, further underscores the importance of land in economic and physical development. All of these clashes had never existed when our population was low and it seemed that our land resource was inexhaustible. Now that reality has dawned, and we even have less land resource to ascribe to the Nigerian territory, having lost Bakassi to Cameroon, added to the consequences of climate change, there is the obvious necessity to manage this scarce resource. The only way to manage a scarce resource is to plan it. This is what makes physical planning imperative. Countries like Singapore and many others have shown that limited land resources can be efficiently managed for livability and sustainability. The Nigerian Institute of Town Planners appeals to all governments in Nigeria, from the federal to the state, to implement the National Urban and Regional Planning Law. The reality about physical planning is that we either plan or we perish. The renowned philosopher Socrates, who lived between 470 and 399 BC, had said, "By far the greatest and most admirable form of wisdom is that needed to plan and beautify cities and human communities." If, as far back as when Socrates lived, he had understood the wisdom and importance of planning human settlements through physical planning, we will be working against wisdom to do otherwise. It is the responsibility of governments all over the world to plan, while it is the duty of town planners to make their acquired knowledge in the art and science of town planning, as well as applied wisdom, available to put government plans into a workable blueprint to guide the physical and economic development of human settlements. Town planning answers to good governance. It relates with government policies. So in the absence of policies that favor community development, there will be no efficient physical planning. In conclusion, we call on the media to help us in propagating this gospel. When as many Nigerians as possible become aware of what physical planning truly is, and that they deserve to live in better and functional communities than they live now, they will demand from government accountability in terms of the development of their communities. Our governments and our people should stop joking. Now is the time to plan so that we can avert the impending disaster. I thank you all for listening.
Keep a date with Housing Development Program every week on TVC. Housing Development is the first and pioneer housing program in Nigeria and by extension, Africa. It remains the authentic voice of the Nigerian housing and construction industry. Housing Development is the only credible and specialized platform for seasoned professionals in the build industry, where quality and credible players in the real estate sector meet to interact, showcase, and analyze government policies. It is no doubt that hundreds of thousands of prospective Nigerians who desire to own their personal properties have done so through the assistance of Housing Development Program in the last 10 years. If you are a stakeholder in the build industry, here is where you must be We are authentic, credible, and supported by all the leading professionals in the build industry. Housing development on TVC.